Now pay attention, 007. I want you to take great care of this equipment.
What was with EA and Bond games in the year 2000? The World Is Not Enough? N64? The World Is Not Enough? PlayStation? And... drum roll, please. 007 Racing. In November of 2000, EA dropped this Eutechnics developed vehicular combat racing thing on the public. And I mean racing with all of the quotes. And by dropped, I mean dumped or shat. Hell, I was a huge Bond fan, and even I avoided this thing when it was released. I think I rented it once, struggled with the controls for a bit, and called it a day. Though I do remember the day I purchased this thing for $5 in a Blockbuster bargain bin the very next spring. Meaning, this turd went from full price to the cost of a 5 for 5 meal deal at Arby's in the span of 3 or 4 months. Man, Arby's. Whatever happened to that fast food joint? They just keep closing these places down. I mean, are they struggling, bankrupt? How is that even possible? The past few cities I've lived in have gone from having 2 to 3 Arby's locations to 1 in less than a year. Is it me? Am I causing these delicious beef houses to fail? If so, I'll move. Arby's, you stay. I'll go. The world needs your salty mounds of folded roast beef with neon chemical squeezy cheese. And oh fuck me, those onion buns. Sure, you can find an onion bun at the store, but nothing compares to the ones they use at Arby's. Moist buns with crispy baked strips of tasty onions right there on the lid. God damn, and what do they put in that meat? No, wait. Please, don't tell me. Don't ruin the surprise. Plus, I probably don't really want to know anyway. Do I, Arby's? 5 for 5, the snack for a sow. When I was young and bulking up for rugby, I'd pound these fuckers back after the gym. I'm sure there must be some nutritional value between those big, beautiful, soft candy buns. Oh, and don't even get me started on that sauce. Tell me, are you a barbecue buddy or a horsey pal? Don't be afraid, you can tell me, friend. I'll go first. Barbecue on the top, horsey on the bottom. Yeah, I'm a dirty, dirty man. 2 packets of each per sandwich. I want that thing dripping all over. Make me filthy, you delicious dreamboat, you. Oh, yeah, that's right. All over my beard. I won't wash it for days after. That juicy Arby's meat permeating the air for days. Even weeks after scarfing down one of those sandwiches. What's that smell of beef, you'll ask? Why, that's just me. Did I eat Arby's today? No. It's been a while. How long ago, you question? Well, that's between me and my local Arby's. I've got to get them into me before the inevitable shutdown. Right, so 007 Racing controls like absolute shite. Things are very touchy, which makes it really challenging to aim your projectiles in the proper direction. I'd like to say that things start feeling more intuitive after a few stages or so, but that would be a blatant lie, especially since the gameplay objectives change from level to level, meaning once you've grown somewhat accustomed to a specific scheme, you'll need to get used to a new set of gimmicks through trial and error. There's no way around it. These controls are bottom of the explosive barrel, and they are unquestionably responsible for this game's poor reputation. 007 Racing. It feels like crap. Buy it today. Also, why is this thing called 007 Racing? You're not racing in 007 Racing, you're clumsily blasting. 007 Spy Hunter, though Spy Hunter is already a thing, a series of games ironically based off of the Bond series. 007 Cars, Gadgets, Women, Whisper, Jaws, and more. No, not more. More. Plenty of callbacks, plenty of tools to play around with. Right here in 007 Racing.
Well, we won't be hanging around.
I mean, it's a great idea to have a vehicular-based combat game based off of the property. These cars have been a main focus in the series from the beginning. The first film, Dr. No, featured this sexy little number, the Sunbeam Alpine. Then From Russia with Love topped that with the classy Bentley Mark IV. It wasn't until the Aston Martin was revealed in Goldfinger that we started to get some automobile ammunition and gadgetry though. My point is, who wouldn't want to get behind the wheel of some of Bond's most memorable rides? In this game, you'll drive the Moore-era Lotus Esprit and the iconic Aston Martin DB5 from the aforementioned Goldfinger. Unfortunately, most of the vehicles represented in-game are from the Brosnan films at the time, so they are mostly BMWs. The 7.3, 7.8, and 750 IL. Don't get me wrong, these are nice, but it would have been cool to see some of the older machines make it into the game, such as the super rare Toyota 2000 GT from You Only Live Twice, or the Aston Martin DBS from the criminally underrated On Her Majesty's Secret Service film. It would have even been cool to toss in this silly little thing from Moores for Your Eyes Only, the Citroën 2CV. Now that was a great car chase from previous second unit director John Glenn's debut in The Big Chair. Instead, we get this thing. But now I'm off topic again because I really don't know how to talk about this game without simply stating that it's bad in a flippant manner and moving on. Well, yes, 007 Racing is bad, but what are your thoughts on curly fries? Nothing goes with a tasty beef and cheddar melt quite as well as Arby's perfectly seasoned curly fries. Dump them on your tray and scoop up all of that sauce that drips out from those sandwiches. Normally I enjoy onions, pickles, and mustard on my beef sammies, sometimes tomato, lettuce, and mayo, but when it comes to Arby's, those are superfluous additions. I want it bare. Beef in my buns, that's it. Eat Arby's, die later. You only live once, or twice if you're Bond. Die another day. Oh, that's right. 007 Racing. Oh, what a way to spoil an appetite. Oh, we're back again, old friend. The cars control like shit, I already said that. The graphics are blurry and unappealing, even for the time, and the objectives do require you to race here and there, but most of them revolve around doing something way too specific, which results in a lot of fumble fucking with the controls. One thing I can't slam is Alastair Brimley's music. Those who've watched our Tomorrow Never Dies review might think I'm contradicting myself because I didn't care for some of the high-octane guitar and techno-based action tracks in that game, but for this one, those sorts of pieces work really well. Brimble's music is loud and energetic. It suits the game with some clever harmonies baked in from previous Bond songs. Yes, the Monty Norman theme is used quite a bit, but there are enough original pieces to keep it from getting too stale. A massive gripe I have is that the music just fully stops whenever someone talks. It's jarring.
You need to use your rockets, 007. Lock on your target with the Stinger missile.
As is the case with all of these Bond games from this era, John Cleese is the only official cast member to reprise his role from the films. It's fitting since his character R is the one in charge of the gadgets and he does an exceptionally good job here. Also, Q was the quartermaster at MI6, hence the initial. Do they call Cleese's character R in the films because he is the successor to Q? If so, it's not cute, it's trite.
And you might be... This is 007.
If you're Q, does that make him R?
Ah, yes, the legendary 007 wit. Or at least half of it.
Oh, so Bond came up with the nickname as a silly one-off joke and the world is not enough. Okay, sure. But why does everyone refer to him as R then? Am I looking too deeply into this? On top of that, are we sure we couldn't replace the late, great Desmond Llewellyn with someone other than John Cleese? Look, Monty Python is one of my favorite shows, and Fawlty Towers is the best situational comedy ever made in my opinion, but why Cleese? Why R? I guess Rowan Atkinson was in Never Say Never Again, but that's not official canon. Seriously, did Cleese just need the money? He was in all of these games from that generation.
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it!
I am enjoying this scene?
Get on with it!
The vehicular audio is handled really well. The cars sound mean when you're given that rare opportunity to bring them up to top speeds. I'm not a huge fan of having the accelerator and brakes mapped to the face buttons, but it's fairly easy to adapt to it. The e-brake allows for some pretty cool drifting, but it's rare that you'll be given enough space to truly enjoy yourself freely. It's when the mission-based stuff comes into play that the controls start to really suffer. 007 Racing is built off of the Need for Speed engine, which works well on those long stretches of road, but it fails magnificently when any amount of automobile finesse is required. Graphically, the game looks pretty bad in my opinion. Yes, this is a PlayStation 1 release, but by this time, the first Driver game had come out, and its sequel was released the same month as this one. Both of those titles were also composed by Brimley, oddly enough, and were much more competently designed overall. The jagged edges are there, sure, but they look leagues better than 007 Racing in comparison. Everything is so muddy, grainy, and putrid looking. It tries to be colorful, but everything just sort of bleeds together in what resembles a messy splatter of beef melt shards across the screen. The incongruity of some of the background elements makes it hard to enjoy the experience. It's so ugly and frantic that it's rather nauseating at times. The cars are outfitted with machine guns with the ability to pick up shields, missiles, oil slicks, and smoke screens. I'm not sure if it's just me, but I find myself often clamoring about with the controls in order to select the gadget I need. You'll need to use the shoulder buttons to choose and use these tools, but it never feels good to me. Couple that with the insane pace and finicky car movements, and it all just culminates in a big, fat, ugly mess. Just imagine needing to cycle through these things one at a time in order to find a specific gadget while everyone is yelling at you. It's not fun. Compound all of that with the added pressure of needing to get a high score while objectives keep flying by and you have an experience that is almost provoking you to have a panic attack. What's worse is that there are no crosshairs to aim your machine guns, so you'll just be firing shit off all willy-nilly without any guidance. Some of the weapons lock on, but for the machine guns it's all about spraying and praying with bullets that can barely be seen on screen. But hey, for those who care, there is multiplayer in this one. It's great that they added it to the only 007 game on the console that I never want to play again. I'm aware that this is a bare bones look at this game, but playing it just gets under my skin. The voice acting is great all around, the vehicle damage is cool, and the music is awesome. When the game lets it play out, that is. I'm a grown-ass man, and I was sitting there just raging, seething, swearing, and getting worked up like a shitty little kid over this stupid video game. I'm not into that, and I can honestly admit that I had zero fun with this thing, even less than I initially had all those years ago. 007 Racing is sloppy and choppy. Even the menus are clunky to navigate. No, I don't want to rewatch this entire stage, and why can't I just replay a mission right away without having to choose it from this screen? The music rocks, but everyone is constantly berating you, like all of the fucking time. These car combat pit fights are just fucking terrible. It's frustrating to fucking aim when your missiles alternate their firing from side to side of your car, back and forth, and the most recent item pickup automatically assigns itself, so you'll need to cycle through these cumbersome fucking, you know what, fuck this stage, fuck having to do this, fuck that. This stage is kinda cool actually, but fuck this game.
Grow up, 007.
Tightly wrapped parcels filled with moist, beefy goodness. That horseradish sauce hits the spot every time. My good God in gravy heaven, how I'd love to bathe in the stuff. Unlike a tasty menagerie of meats and cheeses served on a delicate golden bun, this pile of shit, encased in a plastic jewel case, has no pleasing power. 007 Racing will just make you hungry for more. There was a PS2 follow-up planned, but it went the way of the dodo, much like all of those beef and cheddar houses in my vicinity whenever I move to a new city. I'm telling you, it's a conspiracy. Forget this game, eat Arby's. Both will make you feel like shit in the long run, but downing a beef and cheddar melt will at least give you some pleasure before the inevitable dark times.